how can that build anything that executes something, right? It's just to put something in the input and something comes out. Whereas the clock, like, how would that execute something? How can that change over time and do different things according to the instructions? And I don't know, it seems so weird to think how the static thing becomes something so dynamic. And the crucial idea is that you start connecting the outputs back into the input, and that's what you see in this Sr Latch. It's breaking that mindset of it's just like inputs coming in and outputs. You break that because now you take the output and connect it back to inputs, and suddenly weird, interesting behavior emerges. And that weird, interesting behavior can be, for example, made into what we are calling an Sr Latch, which is basically like flip-flopping between set and reset, called like between Q and not Q outputs, whatever. It's and then based on that you can build a bit more complicated up until you get like a D flip-flop, and now we go even a bit further. Now we introduce the JK flip-flop, which is another kind of variation or improvement or advancement or modification of this idea of, we will see. I don't know. I love that. Test. Welcome back to the stream. Today a little bit earlier, I guess, than usual. Today I want to manage to stop streaming before Zoding finishes streaming, so we can finally host Zoding for a change. So that's the plan for today, basically. That's the main objective I have for today. It doesn't matter how far we get. It's important that we are able to host Zoding. As far as I know, he goes live at 6 p.m., which is maybe a little bit early to end right at that time, but a bit later then. Does this look like water to you? I feel sorry for the water supply you have. JP, I started a podcast like 3 years ago, and I made one episode and never another one. This had nothing to do with the Thugroad thing. I believe if you type in liveoverflow podcast, that's the first result basically that comes up, that podcast that I started. So about your question, if I've ever considered it, that answers it. Yes, I've considered this. Yes, I've even started. I have not continued. Yeah, and the song is The End is Near. No, not Jingle Punks. No. That must be then a remix or something. The original what's the name? Performer is Gunnar Olsen. The End is Near Gunnar Olsen. Do you know any good reading materials about anger? I tried reading through the docs and still feels like I can't do shit with it. Yep, that's right there. Is the problem, the internal problem that we always have with documentation and using tools. All I can say to you that these are advanced professional tools that are not made for basic end users. The only advice I can give you is look for examples that other people have done. And Anger has actually quite a nice collection of examples, I believe even in the official repository. So the documentation is more meant as kind of a reference if you kind of get stuck with something, but I would rather encourage you to kind of like, if you have an idea how to apply it, then look for an example that seems to be similar to what you do and then start adapting that. I think that's the best thing to do. And maybe I would also, maybe you are lucky, also find some talks or workshop recordings from Anger on like YouTube or other course material like slides. That's the other, I'm not sure about that. I've never looked that up, but that is the other general tip that I would give. Just look for like slides or talks about it. What's the weather like in Germany? It's really nice, warm and sunny outside. So it's, I wouldn't say it's like crazy hot. I believe it's like 30, maybe 33 or something tops. Let me see where I'm at least. I don't know what the rest of Germany looks like. Yeah, it's 31 degrees right now. 34 degrees in Hong Kong. Yeah, the humidity. Yeah, that is killing. 10 a.m. in Mexico. Wow. All over the place today. CMAX Media even from Australia, like from the other side of the world. That's insane. Sweden has like 25 degrees. Is that warm for Sweden? I have no clue. So yesterday we finished the so the RAM module was finished kinda, and then we finished then we made the instruction register, which we also tested, so that seems to work. So currently our state is actually pretty good, I believe. Let me get that camera here on. That's a little bit concerning. Why are you showing a dark screen? Well, what happened there? Exposure and brightness are messed up? No, I don't believe so. I didn't change anything. The ISO is at 200. We have a 60th exposure. Should be all good. Okay, so now this screen here is working. I did unplug it from the USB previously, so I feel like... Oh, wait. Oh, my capture thing on my PC has crashed. That's the reason why. It's weird though that it still showed here like a black screen on the camera itself, but it's like this weird USB connection, so maybe it was like, I don't know. Great, that completely broke now also my settings. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. So the video view of this camera seems to be broken right now. It's weird. I mean, we can work with the regular. It's just black. Like the video view is just black, and the regular photo view works. It has a wrong aspect ratio though. Oh wait, now it crashed again. Okay, weird. Oh my gosh. Okay, everything is annoying right now. Okay, whatever. We will make do with this view. It doesn't have the perfect aspect ratio, so we have the black bars on the side, but will be good enough, I think. It's also good. Yeah, it was working. So this camera has like a photo mode and a video mode, and on the photo mode, like it works right now. You see a screen, but it's not as great as if it's on the video mode. Or at least I did all my settings on the video mode. So now it's on the photo mode. Now some color settings and things like that are different, and also, yeah, it's just different. I don't know. Oh, by the way, thanks Fermented Rye for the Twitch Prime sub while I was offline. Okay, one last try. I kind of want to try again here. Let's turn this off and let's turn it back on. Oh, yeah, we are back. Okay, cool. That fixed it. Now we have the nice of... I mean, it's barely different, but whatever. Anyway, okay, so we are back. So basically, we have finished the instruction register yesterday. The instructions are also 8-bit, and the instructions will be in the initial settings. How Ben Eater has it designed is designed in that way that the first 4-bit kind of like decide the instruction, and then if there's an instruction that references memory, for example a move instruction that moves stuff around in memory in RAM, then the other 4 bits are the address. And as you know, our RAM only has 16 bytes, and so the 16 bytes are addressed by 4-bit addresses. So you can also see the other, so up here these LEDs indicate like what address it's currently used in the RAM, and so yeah, so that's why they are both like 4 yellow LEDs. Yeah, and otherwise here's the RAM module if you haven't seen it yet. Looks pretty nice, and that works as well. It's pretty large because it includes, so this is only the RAM here, and up here and down here are just circuits that allow us by hand to enter values into the RAM by hand, because this is how we can write programs into the memory as well. We write all the single bytes for the instructions into RAM like that. And over here, this is the stuff that we originally did. Those are the two A and B registers, and in the middle we have the ALU. So it's taking on shape. It starts to look really, really nice, don't you think? It starts to really take shape. There are a couple of modules still missing though. We kind of estimate that we are like, halfway, maybe a little bit over halfway there or so. I could never understand how the software and hardware actually interact. The series help you. Awesome, yeah. I think that's exactly why Ben Eder also made that series, because it gives you really a better sense and into understanding of how computers work. You should create output modules, but just with the 8 LED and buffer. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but we will reach the output register that Ben Eder is building with the 7-segment display soon. The cables remind me of Factoria assembly lines. Looks awesome. Thanks. Yeah, it does. I spent quite some time on trying to make it look neat. And I think I also learned a lot. So this is the first module we built, and I feel this looks a lot more crooked and like not as nice as this build, which came a lot later. I think I also practiced here a little bit. You should also add LED on the bus. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the bus, and there are LEDs right now, so there are already LEDs on the bus, but obviously it's not the finalized bus. The bus will obviously be way different. But yeah, one step at a time. Let's figure out what the next video is that we have to watch in the series. We have some more basic videos now. Oh, wow, okay. So the next video in the series, I'm going to show you. So the next video, I remove my face really quick so you can see the title of the video. So the next video in the series is the introduction of the JK flip-flop. It's another variation of flip-flops. And if you look into the playlist, what's coming up, we watch now an introduction to the JK flip-flop, and then we have a JK flip-flop racing, which I don't know what that means. Maybe it's like trying to do the flip-flop so fast that it starts glitching, maybe? I don't know. Then we introduced the master and slave JK flip-flop, which is also, I also remember this kind of stuff from school. I don't remember the details, so I'm kind of looking forward to get a refresher of all that. And then we used that to implement a binary counter. And that will later become our program counter that is, always incrementing to the next instruction. And then we finally built this. So it seems like today will be a more theoretic stream. We keep watching YouTube videos and talk about it. I don't know. Are you guys ready? Ready to watch some YouTube videos?
Which I've talked about in a previous video.
What did I just do?
And I'd encourage going back and looking at that video if you're unfamiliar with it. But basically, the last...
Yeah, do you remember the Sr Latch? I think the Sr Latch is one of these things that are really like mind-blowing to think about. They are kind of like they were that mind-blowing puzzle piece that I needed to kind of understand how like a computer, like the on the lowest level kind of works, because we all learn about these logic gates, these NAND gates, AND gates, OR gates, but they are, I talked about it in the charity stream already, but sorry if I repeat myself, but we have these gates, right? There are two NOR gates, for example, on that screen right now, where inputs are coming in, and then it's having whatever a NOR gate does has an output. But that seems so static, right? You put something in the input and something comes out of the output. How can that build anything that executes something, right? It's just you put something in the input and something comes out. Whereas the clock, like how would that be used to like execute something? How can that change over time and do different things according to the instructions? And I don't know, it seems so weird to think how the static thing becomes something so dynamic. And the crucial idea is that you start connecting the outputs back into the input, and that's what you see in this Sr Latch. It's breaking that mindset of it's just like inputs coming in and outputs. You break that because now you take the output and connect it back to inputs, and suddenly weird interesting behavior emerges. And that weird, interesting behavior can be, for example, made into what we are calling an Sr Latch, which is basically like flip-flopping between set and reset, called like between Q and not Q outputs, whatever. It's and then based on that you can build a bit more complicated up until you get like the D flip-flop, and now we go even a bit further. Now we introduce the JK flip-flop, which is another kind of variation or improvement or advancement or modification of this idea of, we will see. I don't know. I love that.
It is essentially what's happening over here. And so that SR latch with enable is only enabled.
Was that Bing in the video, or was that my phone? Did he record where he got a text message?
Here. And so that SR latch enable is essentially what's happening over here.
Oh, he must have been so annoyed and didn't want to redo it.
And so that SR latch with enable is only enabled.
Very interesting.
In a previous video.
Okay, did everybody get that? The JK flip-flop is an extension of the SR flip-flop, where we are feeding back the output of the SR flip-flop again into the input and end it. And basically it just gives us this additional property of that toggle, which it makes it a little bit more complex again, but it gives us a new interesting property that we might be able to use. And as we know, it will lead to the program counter, as the futurist already mentioned. The only problem will be timing, because if the clock stays high, it is uncontrollable. If the clock stays high. So first of all, we have this little circuit here in the front, this capacitor and this resistor here, that will make sure that no matter how long the clock is, we only get a single pulse. So I'm not quite sure what you are referring to, but I mean, I also have no clue about. Maybe you already know something that I will learn about now.
For this.
What kind of probes are those, by the way? I like those, that you can just like stick them into the breadboard. I want those too. I only have these, the ones with like the hook, and then I attached here, like a cable to it so I can plug it into the breadboard. But this is way cooler what he has. I want that too. Does anybody know what those are called, or how I could find those? I mean, I have also a Rigel here, so if I find the same kind of probes, it should work, but I don't know. Well, I know that you can buy accessories. It's just like I'm specifically asking which one are those. Most of them. Oh, you can pull the hook off. I totally forgot. You're absolutely right. You're right. They can pull that off. I completely forgot. You just reminded me. Does this work? Oh, that might actually work on the breadboard. That might. It's not keep sticking in, but it should hold. You're absolutely right. I'm a complete idiot. Okay, then never mind. Thank you. Oh, well, I don't know if mine actually work. It's quite a thin, short piece. It felt like it could work, but maybe it's really not long enough. I don't know.
Because, within
I don't think it's about smoothing the pulse,
straight.
right? It's about just a very fast pulse and very accurate timings, I would assume. So what Lava Thief is kind of saying, I'm also kind of wondering, is maybe not the correct better strategy to somehow, I don't know, like delay the output or make that kind of like stick longer, kind of in a similar way how we like debounce a button, right? I don't know, I'm not quite sure if that would work, but the idea would be that once it changes, it sticks for a period of time, and that way your input pulse can be more inaccurate. I don't know, but my assumption is, I guess you would actually just make that really well timing. You measure this exactly, and when you build the chip, you obviously have a lot more control over the length of the paths, and exactly you basically control the whole thing, which is different. As Ben has said, we get to the limits of a breadboard because there are so many variables that influence these extremely high speeds. And so I guess that's the issue with the breadboard. But in an IC, when you manufacture one, you you control everything, so you can be very accurate. What is
This
RC
pulse,
network?
We're not detecting a nice, clean...
Resistor capacitor network. I've heard this term before. I've never... I guess now I understand what that means. That is a resistor capacitor network. Bcamp, the reason why we want the JK flip-flop is, I believe, for the toggle, and the previous flip-flop didn't have a toggle. This switching between things. The output is always coming back to the input, and that's happening too fast, so the race thing happens. Porky Poop, couldn't you artificially make the race condition unimportant by elongating the wires going through flow? Yeah, that seems like the hacky solution to the problem. Imagine your computer just having like random wires and coils coming out just to make that signal like slower to make your flip-flops work.
We found that it was almost impossible to get that working robustly.
By the way, this just about the long wire, the delay thing, that's actually something I learned about a while ago. Delay memory, is it called delay memory? Delay line memory. Damn, that blew my mind. Is that it? Yeah, look at that. How insane is this? So this is memory, okay? So this is how something is stored, how data can be stored in memory, right? Like imagine at a time where kind of like this kind of RAM or so didn't really exist, okay? How do you store something? You use delay lines, and what does it mean? Let's see if there's a good description here. So when bits were entering from the computer, it would twist the end of the wire. This would result in a wave. That wave is then traveling along that metal thing, like the same way how when you like, I don't know, imagine like you are whipping a rope or something, you see the wave in the rope like traveling, right? It travels slowly, you can watch that. So basically when the bits are coming in, you shake the wire and this wave is traveling through that wire, and that takes a while until it arrives basically at the start again. And then you just repeat that again. You know, like you can have so many waves on that thing that fit on that. Then it's like full, and then you just keep repeating that and always like make the wave travel around. And that's the way how you can store a couple of bits. So apparently 1,000 units were typical on a board with only 1 foot square. And when you wanted to read it, then you just decided, okay, now let's let that wave arrive and read out the bits again. That's so crazy. Yeah, like how did someone ever think of that? Exactly. I saw this in some YouTube video, and it blew my mind. It was like computer file or something. Delay.
So ever since I uploaded a few...
Astonishing old calculator. Yeah,
1963,
I believe. This is from him. I bought that from him. Look at the guys which are restoring the Apollo guidance computer set. Thanks for reminding me of that. I also remember seeing that. There's this group that is coming together for restoring the old computer. A couple of different, I believe, YouTubers are working on different... I don't know, they assembled like a team to restore it. Like I remember one guy was a person who just built a complete replica, another person who has like done like software emulation about it or so, and they all come together in this like hotel room or something and restore the original one. Yeah, it's an ongoing series. 3 days ago I think I saw the first video where they are announcing this project, I believe. Oh damn, I need to watch this for sure. Oh my gosh, this will kill so many hours. Yeah, thanks for sharing, CMax. So that channel, if you want to look it up, is Curious Mark. Anyway, let's quickly just switch to the delay line. Here it is.
and launches a pulse. A little doink goes around here on the spiral of piano wire, steel wire.
Mind-blowing.
It spirals in, then spirals out as vibrations in this wire. The alternative, of course, is what we do today. You'd have solid-state memory.
Your
It's
long
on
wire
the order
idea
of
is the correct opinion.
250, maybe and the logic.
Yeah, just
So,
incredible, just amazing. It just keeps blowing my mind. I can't get over this fact of storing data in like this wire that is just like going around in a circle. This is just how extremely smart are some people. Like, who would have ever come up with this? This is so ingenious. It's amazing. And by the way, the guy here, Cliff Stoll, who is talking here, is also awesome. He has several Numberphile videos with him. He likes to talk a lot about the Klein bottle. You can also buy that from him, actually. And he will ship that to you with a personalized message and say thank you. He even makes selfies with your bottle before he ships it to you. What an incredible person. There's also recently Brady Haran started the Numberphile Podcast. So along the videos now there's a podcast where he's interviewing various mathematicians, and one of the people that Brady Haran interviewed is Cliff Stoll, and so he talks about Cliff Stoll's life. So if that old guy intrigued you, that was a fun interview. But all of the interviews are really fun. All of the people that he interviewed is very interesting, very insightful, very cool. And what makes Cliff Stoll even cooler, especially for us here, in case you didn't know, if you have ever heard of the book The Cuckoo's Egg, this story of was it West German hackers infiltrating stuff, and he's from the US and he like tracked that back. All that story, it's in this book The Cuckoo's Egg. There's also a kind of nice like documentary kind of movie, like it's like a documentary at the same time, kind of a movie, a retelling of those things, and he's playing himself in that movie, so it's fun. I watched it as well, and so he was the guy in that story. He was the person that kind of like tracked down that hacker. So he also, what a legend. What a legend. He's incredible. Here, wait, give me a second. One second. I'll show you something. Here, this is the box the Klein bottle was delivered in that I bought from him. Look, he drew that on it. He even wrote in German. You know, he's from the US. He wrote the German word for fragile. Zerbrechlich. Yeah, even on the other side, like empty glass bottle in German there. That's where it was delivered in. Yeah, some people are just so cool. Yeah, I'm a real fanboy. This guy's just amazing. Klein bottles sale, I guess. I don't know. Here, kleinbottle.com. If you wanna order yourself one, you can order it from his store here. I ordered like a medium one, maybe. Was it a medium or a baby one? I don't remember. Might have been a medium one. I don't remember. Yeah, there's also a video where he's storing those Klein bottles. He's storing all these Klein bottles under his house, and it's kind of like a crawl space. So he built his own kind of like remote controlled robot thingy that can drive and navigate around there, that he is like controlling with a small screen in that office where he was just standing and showing us this machine. So it's like it's like crazy. You need to live like him. Yeah, what a legend. What an idol.
Effectively, it's kind of a two-step process where the clock has to go high, then low. Now, what about...
This seems to be a better solution than to our long wire, Porky Poop, don't you agree?
This is a JK flip-flop, so we should have that property where if J and K are both high...
Yeah, that's true. The wire would be too long. That's why we are not talking about a regular copper wire. We are obviously, of course, like who would have questions? We are talking about, a fiber, a glass fiber. Then we have like dotted, what's this called? The things to, oh God, what are they called? The things that you place in long fiberglass things. They are like dotted with some chemical that re-emit the light to basically make it strong again. And so we have that, and we go through the ocean one time, and then we come back. So it's 6 p.m. Zoding is going live soon. That means I don't want to stream for a lot longer. I think the question also was coming up earlier if I have a longer stream today. No. Oh my god. What is happening? So the question also came up if I stream longer, but nope, not today, because we got a host Zoding. So he's going live now, which means let's build this. This seems to be a short video. It's only 5 minutes long. So let's see how long this video goes with the binary counter, if we already start building our program counter or not. But yeah, so maximum streaming for another hour or so.
Whenever we're running a program.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So why do I not order from Aliexpress? Mostly because of shipping times. I don't know if like the parts that I would order there are necessarily worse. I mean, all those parts are manufactured in like, I don't know, obviously mass production plants somewhere. But yeah, mostly it's just the time. The few cents that you are saving, like if I pay 10 cents or if I pay 15 cents for one of these chips, really doesn't matter in the end to me. At least at this point, you know, I don't. That is not really the driving cost here. My work time I put into is way more expensive than those parts. So it's much easier to just order from, you know, a store that has everything. On AliExpress, you also have to source them from different stores. I guess maybe there are big stores where they have everything, but it's kind of hassle everything. So I ordered from another store. Also we want the breadboards, we need the cables, we need all the other stuff, the LEDs. Yes, you can source everything from AliExpress, or you can source everything from DigiKey or other cheaper kind of stores, but yeah, in the end it doesn't really matter that much. The whole 8-bit computer from China costs $80 or less. I ordered parts too. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure you can make it work. I was mostly worried, for example, also with the quality of the breadboards. I personally don't know, because I've bought the expensive ones. Somebody in another YouTube video mentioned that he had problems with cheaper breadboards, that some connections weren't as great, and that was frustrating apparently. So yeah, like we are talking here prices that I know for many people, like especially when I was younger, I can relate to when I was younger and basically didn't have a job, that yes, prices would matter. I would spend ages to find the cheapest thing and save a little bit. I obviously understand, but you also have to understand that I have a job, I earn money, right? So this is spending money on a hobby kind of thing. So I don't mind a couple of euros more. I waste more money with other things. I'm sure streaming this with all the lights on that are here on and all the electricity that I'm wasting because of the setup, I'm sure this will cost me more than what I've paid more for this, for these parts, basically. Yeah, but mostly it's shipping time, and it's easier to just order from a store that just has everything and it ships fast. And however, I did order a couple of things from AliExpress the other day. It just takes now a month for them to arrive, but I'm really looking forward to them. I ordered foot pedals because I want to build foot pedals so I don't have to click by hand, so I can do the scene transitions with my foot. And that would be kind of fun to build on stream as well, because obviously there's no like immediate solution how to make that work. So we will likely learn about. I imagine right now that I will use there's like a WebSocket API plugin for OBS that we use that, plus like a Raspberry Pi maybe, or just an Arduino or so to interface with the foot pedals that then send these commands basically to OBS. That's kind of the idea. But yeah, future us problems after this or in between. I don't know yet. Is the stream going to be a long-term thing? The problem is I cannot keep up the daily schedule. That's insane. It's killing me right now. I definitely need to take it down. The problem is that I like it too much right now. So right now I don't want to divert from the daily thing, but I can't sustain this long term. Impossible. I'm going crazy already. It's more than $100, so I don't think it's a couple of cents. Yeah, it's a couple of cents per component, and there are quite a lot of components, I guess. Ben Eater's original price is $250, and I spent more on that because I was also experimenting with different kinds of LEDs, what looked better. I wanted to get the more expensive breadboards. Yeah, and it sucks. I know. I live in Germany. I live a very privileged life. Our, the money we earn at jobs is, $100 is not much for me, which I hate it. Okay, I don't like it. It makes me feel really bad every time I think about this, that I'm living this extremely privileged life that I don't care about $100. Just because I was lucky to be born in Germany and have a good paying job. And it fucking sucks to read people that are watching. Like the other day we had somebody from India who was telling me that, a hairdresser's earning like €2 a day or so. It fucking sucks. It's unfair. Don't know what to tell you. It just sucks. You are the person who asked about the wire on Reddit. I went to the Baumarkt and bought some Klingeldraht. Gonna try it out tomorrow when I'm back home. Oh yeah, I also heard that Klingeldraht is the thing, but did you find like a good thickness that seems to work? And did you find different colors? Because it's the other problem I had. I did find Klingeldraht, but often it was just like one color available also, which I would have also liked to have different colors. But Klingeldraht is also what I heard is basically what you would be looking for. It's even worse when you're born in a country where you're either rich or poor and there's no middle ground. Yeah, I have a colleague who is also from Hong Kong. I think about it this way, that's $100 more into the third world economy. You mean if you buy it, from like these kind of stores? I mean, that kind of trickle down economics is pretty bullshit, but whatever. Let's tell us that so that we feel better. Why should I change it to science and technology? Are we not chatting a lot? Basically, we have YouTube reaction content and we are chatting a lot. We don't do anything science and technology, basically. Wouldn't you agree? Program counter design. This seems to be like a really kind of important video that gives us, I think for the first time, at least looking at that image, a better overview of how this kind of computer kind of works, I guess. Oh, Hex, is it a good idea to make a dual studium study at HP as Informatica? FYI, I applied to HP and IBM. Those are the two places that I applied for my dual study as well. So I also did a dual study in... are you also from Baden-Württemberg, around that area? Are you going to study in Stuttgart basically, or Böbling? I think the dual study system is great. I think the dual study system depends heavily on the company you are with. And from my experience is that the people at HP were also pretty cool. I didn't go to HP in the end because my dad worked for HP and I didn't want people to think like I only got the job because of my dad. So I went to IBM. But my roommate was at HP. We had many HP friends. We interacted a lot with the people from HP. And it seems that HP is also generally one of the better companies to do it. If you have so I think it's definitely a good solution. If it's something for you, in the end you have to decide if a dual study is what you want to do, or if you have the choice between different kind of companies, what you want to do. But if you think this is something you would be happy with, I would say it's a good choice. For shorter distance, I will use different wire for breadboards with different colors. What kind of wire would you use? I'm confused. That switching languages confuse you? Yeah, mostly because I only speak English, so speaking German requires quite some thinking. I also make at the Teig wait, what? Do you know some people who studied KIT? Yeah, I also know people who studied KIT. KIT also seems to be a good place. KIT was also one of the universities I thought about when I was thinking about my bachelor's, but in the end I went with the dual study program. I have a set like that as well, over here. The problem is that these are rigid. The lens, the connections that you are making are so unique and different constantly. if you do care about making every wire the perfect length that it looks nice, then this will probably not work. If you not really care and it's okay if it's like a bit too long and you bend it outwards a bit and it has a little bit of curvy stuff, if you don't really care, then I guess it's fine. But if you would want to make it like really, really nice, then you definitely have to cut every single wire because the lengths are so different. I would recommend against pre-cut. Yeah, I also feel like it will never be the exact length. You will always have to choose like basically the longer one and then kind of bend it out of shape just to make it kind of fit, I would assume. Yeah, and the colors we are choosing in this build here is based on the functionality. So we kind of, just with one glance, we know, for example, a yellow wire is a control wire for us. And like the yellow wires here are control wires, and we know the white one is the clock signal. So these ones here are 15 euros. This is the one that's what I bought. What's the difference between those two things here? I don't know. I don't know. Might be the same thing. Those are the ones I bought. Those are exactly this. This is basically what Ben Eder also uses, and it's 15 euros. 22 AWG is perfect. All of these wires are 22, and this is also what Ben Eder is using in his build. That seems to be, I would feel like that's the perfect thickness. That has been, I don't know. That seems super like perfect, I feel like. It's 25 feet per spool. I think that's like 7 meters or so. 25 feet, 2 meters. Yeah, 7.6 meters. It's definitely not enough for the blue and the green one. So we have a lot of blue and green, and both of them are basically empty. I have a little bit of green left, but the blue one is empty. So I bought like 2 of these packs. No, so to me this, look here, wait, we have macro shots. Ah crap, the camera's empty. Let me show you in the macro shot like how tight that is. I feel like 22 is really perfect. I couldn't imagine it. That seems quite of an extreme bigger that you are using, or that you used there. Find that kind of curious, to be honest. Here, breadboard. Almost try to show this. Okay, so here, I hope that's big enough for you to see. Like, see, that's 22. Like, that fills like that hole like really nicely. There's not really much play. Like, I feel like this is pretty good. Are all breadboards the same? I have no clue. I mean, the spacing between them is kind of a standard. But yeah, it could be that some of those holes are larger. I mean, I could imagine that the 18 also fits. Because they're still, it's still quite large. But that feels like that would be like the maximum. That almost feels like it would probably go like really strong in there and would like be like really crazy connection. I don't know. What Druckschalter? Do you mean the latching one that like switch toggles between different things? Or do you mean the regular push buttons? And that's actually also something we played around with. So a couple of streams ago, I got another order from Mauser because I wanted to exactly find a nice buttons. So I bought like a couple of different ones to find a good one. So we got this one here. Yeah, so we got this one here. I ordered a lot of them, a lot of different versions. I went to Mauser and spent like quite a few hours looking for them, and then I ordered all of them, and then we checked them out on stream, which one is a good one. Looks like a cherry switch, yeah. I would have to look up the exact name of this one because I ordered like a lot of different ones. Yeah, I couldn't find these stuff like this at Konrad or Reichelt or so. So my go-to store so far that I've been extremely happy was Mauser. Mauser Electronics has been really surprising for 2 reasons. First of all, they have everything. It is a massive store. It takes ages to find stuff, especially when you are just like looking for something like these buttons there. But they have then all the different kinds. Yeah, you're right. I need to add my ad label. They have all the different kinds, and they ship from the US, which worried me for two things. First of all, shipping time. And second of all, I was worried about the import duty. But it's all already included. So they pay all the duties so that you have absolutely no issues getting that. I had a €500 order from there. No problems at all. The price already includes all of that when you order. And shipping is extremely fast. It takes like 3 or 4 days maximum. Yeah, and there I got the cables. I found the correct breadboards. I found like these weird blue LEDs that I'm using now. I found these latching buttons. Occurred to me that if you want pedals, you might want to look at Flight Sim Community. That sounds like a good idea. However, I would assume that the stuff that the Flight Sim Community uses are proper pedals that like cost money. The same thing with, I was looking at music gear because, you know, guitar players and generally musicians use also foot pedals. So I thought about buying like a MIDI foot pedal thing, but they are all expensive because these are kind of like good products that you only have buy like 1 or 2 or so. The Logitech Series foot pedal. Let me see what that costs, because anything over €5 is too much. Or maybe everything over €10. €10 would already hurt. Are you talking about something like this? That's I would never. That's not what I'm looking for. Anyway, what I ended up figuring out is tattoo foot pedals. This is exactly what I wanted. Each of these breadboards have these metal sheets for whatever reasons in the package, and then so I thought you could build your own like cheap ass pedal with, you just angle them a little bit, and and then you isolate them, and then when you like do that, now there you have your foot pedal, basically. That's also my other alternative. But then I found out about these tattoo pedals, and these are just cheap ass pedals. They cost like nothing. They cost like €2 or so when you order them from China each. And so I'm able to buy like 10 or so of them, or 8 of them, and so then I can put them all under my desk to control stuff, I mean, so let me rephrase. If there were, for example, an Elgato Stream foot pedal thing that integrates with Stream Deck already with all their software features, and you get like a nice array of like 5 or 10 foot pedals that you can put under your desk, and it looks fine, and you can buy it and everything works, and it costs €200, I would have bought that. But because I have to do everything myself, I have to build the software, I have to rate everything myself, I have to build the foot pedal thingy, and integrate that all with OBS. Because I have to do all this work, I want to buy cheap pedals. Does that make sense? Yeah, I saw some foot pedal controllers on Amazon like this. Yeah, of course I looked there as well. But the problem is I still would need to write software for all of these, because they are not... I mean, there are some MIDI controller plugins and stuff for OBS, but that all looks janky. And then I figured... And then they also sometimes... I'm not sure the one you linked right now, how much that has... But I only found like one with like, the one you sent me there, but it's not available to buy right now. But there's an alternative, it's like €30. But it's only 3. I have even more scenes than that, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, basically 4 sources of camera input with my laptop. I have, and there's more stuff that I want to control with it as well than that. And so like 3 pedals is already not enough. If you build a fully integrated foot pedal software you would pay me €200? Probably. Anyway, we talk too much crap. Let's continue. I wasted time. I mean, if it's like a hacky solution, I can do that myself, right? Like, I wouldn't mind buy a full-featured product that integrates with Stream Deck and whatever. You get the point. Yeah, I know Soldering is live. That's why we need to hurry so we can host him.
Shit from RAM.
As far as I know, you have 3 cameras. No, I just counted. I have 1 camera right here. 1. Overhead. 2. Canon. 3. The laptop screen is another input. It's not a camera, but it's kind of a camera. It's another input. 4. And then you just reminded me I also have a thermal camera, so we have 5. So those are just the different sources. But then there's more I want to control. So maybe I want to, for example, control the ad overlay that you can like see up there in the corner. Maybe I want to add that. Maybe there's more stuff I want to do with the stream that I want to be able to control at a later point in time. Not right now, because those things. I have a USB microscope here as well, which is also hooked up, but we are not really using for this stream right now. But that's another option that we might want to have hooked up. I'm running into issues with my Stream Deck already. So the Stream Deck has 2, 4, 5, 15 buttons. And it's completely full with buttons. There's no other space I could put stuff on. And I wish that now there's a bigger Stream Deck, but it just came out after I bought this one. So I don't know.
Because
yeah, but an iPad doesn't have buttons. It's a touch screen. This I can basically, press blindly. I know roughly where the stuff is. I can feel the buttons. Yes, why do I use this? I could also just move my mouse and click the stuff in OBS. Why do I use this? Why do I want foot pedals? So I have my hands free to do that. You understand? Like, yeah, you get it. You get it.
The memory that we built has a 4-bit address. So one is
sorry for interrupting, but you were writing. You could use your tongue. Do you know what's his name? Taran? Is his name Taran? And he is like crazily optimizing his editing all the time, and he has also experimented with like brain to computer interface to see if maybe he can use that as shortcuts for controlling, but it hasn't quite worked out, but he sees kind of the future hopefully to be there. You found a better one, a cheaper one on Amazon? Yeah. So the problem is that's also a USB one. If you think about connecting 8 USB devices to a computer, I would also then, get a USB hub just for that. And then also we don't know if that is like configurable, because it's like a HID USB keyboard, it says. Like, is it then all the same like key that it's outputting? Is it configurable? So I don't know yet. Anyway, but like I said, I found like very cheap like tattoo foot pedals on Aliexpress that fulfill exactly what I need. It's just a button, and then we can write some code for like Arduino or for Raspberry Pi also to use them. That I think that would also be fun stream, I guess. One small thing I can show you. So if you go to Amazon and you look for these tattoo foot pedals, this is really risky to search right now. I feel like these search results look very different than when I search. Okay, so for example, these here for €4, these foot pedals are exactly what you can buy from Aliexpress, and these ones here as well. Like these ones here for also €5 with shipping. You can buy them directly from Aliexpress, and you can get them for like €2 or so. So this is like double the price. Funnily, these are also kind of odd, like weird people that are selling these. Like these companies here that are selling these sell all this kind of random crap, and they also say that it might be delivered, next month, in a month. So this is just drop shipping. Like they don't have that stuff in Germany right now. You order it and they will ship it. They just buy it straight from AliExpress, and you just pay the markup for them to put it on Amazon. You can just buy it yourself from AliExpress. So this is just a typical drop shipping store thing. Okay, so it's 6:50. We watched the program counter video, and now we head into the program counter build. I guess we keep that for next stream. I think I will slowly wind down. It was definitely a shorter stream today, but like I said, the main task for today is not to make any progress, but our main task for today is to be able to host Zoding. That's why I started earlier. I kind of procrastinated. I should have started earlier, then we would have had a longer stream. But then you don't have to worry about customs. You also don't have to worry about customs when you order from AliExpress. First of all, because it's super clear. Well, let's say you might still have to worry about customs from Amazon, because do you think those drop shippers deal with customs? No, they just also make it ship from China to your address, and then they intercept it at the customs. However, second thing is, under 20 euros, you are duty free anyway, and above 20 euros, up to 150 or so, you just need to pay the VAT, and above that, you need the other stuff. So if you just buy for below 20 euros a couple of these foot pedals, then it's all good. Is your Pwn Adventure Docker file supposed to work? I'm trying to set it up. Can you specify what they changed, who changed what? Because nobody changed anything, I feel like. Nobody should have changed anything. That should be the nice thing about Docker, that it just should work. But also the problem is Pwn Adventure is slowly getting pretty old. I get more and more people that have issues. Like I receive more and more messages like yours that people have issues, but usually with running the client, because the runtimes, the graphics libraries or so, they just don't work anymore on modern Ubuntu. So you have to like use like an old Ubuntu 14 or so to run it. They now require the client maps in order to set up the server. This has always been the case, that you need the client thing. Maybe it wasn't like fully initialized or so what you did, I don't know. Yeah, like if we look at GitHub, liveoverflow, there's somewhere a wget, somewhere is a download of a file. Am I blind? In the README, okay. I guess you'd have to do this by hand. Did you do this? Did you get that file? Or is that not available anymore also? Do you mind sending me a link to the structure you're using? I'm trying to find the right one. They're just, yeah, that's, the problem is also I bought like a dozen different ones. So figuring out which one this was exactly will be a little bit difficult. Wait, let me see. Give me 1 second. I might. So what I was saying is this wget, that download there, are these client files. So what the client would download, what you would also need for the server. I asked the creators of Pwn Adventure if they can just host those files so that the server setup is easier, that you can just download those files. And so this is what is supposed to be in that folder. I mean, what could be that they removed it or that something else changed or so. Super Soaker, if you don't behave, I won't send you that link. How are you wearing headphones? I've only watched half the stream with headphones and my ears are sweaty. Let me introduce you to the amazing products of open back headphones. They are open here. Their air goes inside of here. They are not closed. This was a revolution to me as well. I only learned about this like 2 months ago or so. This has been a revelation, and since then I love open back headphones. I can recommend, so these ones are really expensive. These ones are a bit more affordable. Those are the Sennheiser, doesn't it say on here? Oh, HD 599. I like those also. I might even like them a little bit more than these in terms of how comfortable it is to wear, but yeah. I mean, they are, I mean, can you kind of see that? Let me show you. I put this here. See, like how this like shines through. It's like not really like fully open. There's still like a fabric and stuff. But the idea is that it also doesn't isolate you from the room. So when you put them on, I mean, this can be like a problem for you. You still hear everything around you. It doesn't isolate you. Like it basically dampens no sound around you. You can hear everything. So if you get headphones because you want to drown out other noise or you want to isolate yourself, then it's not a good choice. But for example, I want to still hear the doorbell. I want to hear my dog coming in. And also it feels so weird when you like have like typing sound, for example, and that sound is dampened from regular headphones. Then that's kind of, I don't know, it feels annoying. Like I hear everything, like every small noise I hear. So it feels very natural, but you still have headphones on and you can like listen to whatever you want to listen to, and you don't have to use speakers. So yeah, those are the pros and cons. And yes, I also have noise cancelling headphones. I don't need them at home because there's no noise I need to cancel out. But for example, I hate public transit without noise cancelling headphones. I need them to drown out the city. Only use them to drown out fan sound. Yeah, that's the issue. You will still have that fan sound. That's then a problem. I want to make a proper parts list with also the flathead LEDs that I've been using. I still don't know because there's still a lot of modification happening for this, so I want to make sure I get the proper parts list in the end. So DPDT. Oh gosh, so which one is it here? Okay, maybe I shouldn't do this on stream. There's like so many that I ordered. That's not the one necessarily we want. I'm just going for one. So this must be on this series, but so on this image you can see all the different ones. So now we gotta go in the data sheet. That's how I basically looked for them. And now then here are different ones. It could have been one of this, either this one here or this one here. Let's see, those are the latching ones. This is blue and this is brown. It should be this one here then. I believe it must be this one here. Latching, yeah. So it should be this one here. GPBS 850L. Yeah, these are the 660S. Okay, cool. I guess that was it. We found the buttons. Sorry everybody, it was kind of a shorter stream. We basically didn't accomplish anything. We just watched YouTube videos. But we did learn about the delay circuit memory using acoustic waves. I think that was pretty cool. Tomorrow will be probably another stream. Maybe tomorrow it will be maybe a bit longer. I still don't know when I stream tomorrow. It might actually be earlier in the day. So there are two options that I haven't decided yet. Either it will be earlier in the day, basically around 1 p.m. German time, because then we can like watch together the next episode of my weekly video that I'm releasing every Sunday. So we could watch that together, or it will be then later in the day towards the afternoon, evening. Anyway, so let's rate Soding. Oh, and movie recommendation. True. We had a movie recommendation. I actually might put that back on the background and rewatch it again. That kind of sounds fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And Soding is also a very chill stream, so maybe hang out and check out his stream for a little bit. See you there.